Hi, my name is Christopher Bailey. I'm the fourth generation of the Bailey family to milk cows. With my parents, we moved up here to Cumbria last year, where we purchased this farm, Moorhouse Hall Farm, near Wigton. Before that, we were tenant farmers down in Lancashire. So here at Moorhouse Hall Farm, we are milking approximately 100 Holstein Friesians, pedigree cows. They're quite high yielding. They do about 10,500 litres in a 3 or 5 day yield. We are quite into our genetics and our breeding, and we've been genomically testing all the heifer calves born here since about 2014. The farm itself is 130 acres in size, so it's not the biggest farm in the world, and it's a completely closed herd. So we haven't bought a cow in, well, ever to be honest, and we rear all our own replacements. We carve them. We do carve all year round. However, we try to carve our heifers so they're all born in a little batch and they're all reared together. So they all start calving from basically late June, and we won't have any heifer calves born after October. So all the heifers are born in that period. And obviously, because our calving interval is about 390 days, we end up having a bit of a spread out calving pattern. So basically, we're calving cows mainly between July and January, but we are an all year round calving herd basically. We like to graze our cows. We try to graze them as much as possible. We're depending on ground conditions and the weather. We quite like to try and get them out sometime in April, and we'll try to get them out both by day and night through the summer, and then in the autumn they'll probably come in sometime around September at nights, and we might even get them out just for a couple of hours a day even into October or even later in the year, just depending on the tracks and the weather. We're into a multi-cut silage system, so we try to make it produce as much milk as possible from forage. So we basically end up trying to cut the grass every 35 days, and this year we've done 4 cuts because we've got a lot of leftover silo, and we've finished for the year by middle of August, but we would happily go and do a 5th cut if we needed to. At the moment, we don't grow anything other than grass and red clover, although that is something we're looking to change because that's historic about from where we're from. The farm we're from was a very heavy clay farm in a wet area, so it suited a grass-based system. As here, we're looking at options of growing some other crops in future for the diet. So the milking parlour, we are milking them twice a day. We're trying to do a 12-hour split, so we're milking at 5 and 5. It's a 2020 herringbone parlour, De Laval one. It was here when we bought the farm. It's reasonably old. It had bits added onto it. It's causing quite a few issues at the moment, but we're not looking to change it at the moment. There's no plans to change the production system from twice a day. We're not I think we'll always, as long as we graze cows, we'll always end up milking them through a parlour, although maybe we might want a nicer one in a few years' time, but at the moment, I say we'll have to stick with it, although it is causing us a few issues. So the team here, it's just the family. So it's mainly my mum and my dad, so that's John and Kate, who do a lot of the work. I am also part-time here, so I work part-time. I work as a large animal vet at a local vet practice, so I split my time between the farm and between the vets. We mainly use contractors for a lot of our outside work, for reseeding, for silage making. We tend to do most of our slurry and fertiliser in-house. I suppose my granddad, he still likes to come up from Lancashire, and he's 78 now. He likes to come up and still helps us out quite a bit at silage time as well. And then I have a wife and 2 kids who help a bit with the calves, but mainly it's myself and my parents. So a bit about the history of the farm and the family. So we've only been here in Cumbria for the last year. Before then, we were milking in Lancashire. We were supplying Sainsbury's for a Muller contract. That was a tenanted farm. That was a tenancy that my great-grandfather took over in 74 years ago, approximately. They were milking cows before then in other places. So we're a closed herd, and actually we can trace a lot of the maternal lines of the cows back to my granddad's time, basically. We've not had a bull for about 50 years. Everything's been 100% AI. So a lot of the maternal lines of the cows here, we can trace all the way back down to Lancashire and back down, to 1960s, 1970s. So the herd moved up here from Lancashire last year, and I think we are extremely proud of our cow welfare standards, our calf mortality, our lameness standards, antibiotic usage. We were supplying Sainsbury's on quite a high welfare contract before, and we used to not struggle to hit all their criteria, and those sort of standards we're maintaining up here. So we're very proud of the cow side, of how we look after our cows, say for the mortality, the cell counts, mastitis rates, lameness rates. That's the thing we're most proud about on this farm, to be honest, and that's probably the focus. That's what drives us, is the cows. So what we're planning to do in the near future and what our focus is on is we just want to keep on making little improvements where and when we can and the finances allow. Current things that we want to improve, well, probably number one is the grazing infrastructure. So we probably want to improve the cow tracks, improve access to the fields so that we can graze the season, stretch the season out. We've also want to make little improvements where we can with things like rubber matting in the parlour, tidying the bits of concrete that's getting a bit old and worn out, looking at a new slurry store because we're a bit limited for slurry storage at the moment, and medium term we'd also like quite a few more silos. At the moment there's just 2 silos, and it makes it difficult with the multi-cut system because you're always burying silage with the newer silage you're making. It'd be nice to have 4 silos so that then we could have each cut in its own clamp, and we've got better access to them. So that's probably the slurry store, the silos and the cow tracks. Why did we want to be involved in the AHDB Strategic Dairy Farmer Group? I've been very impressed with AHDB over the last couple of years, watching the webinars of the other strategic dairy farms on the internet. We are big fans, we use a lot of their online tools quite heavily, so we're massive fans of the herd genetic reports. We use the slurry wizard. We also quite like the quarter pro mastitis stuff they do. So we constantly look, whenever I'm looking at stuff, even through my vet career, when I'm looking for more information on stuff, a lot of the fact sheets they do on ventilation, on housing are incredibly good. So partly want to do it just to support AHDB, and partly just to help improve and pushing the farm onwards.